Hello and welcome to Nikolai's genetics lessons, and today's problem was sent to me by one of my subscribers, and here's a problem. In humans, color blindness is due to X-linked recessive allele, while blue eyes are due to an autosomal recessive allele. Two brown-eyed persons with normal vision produce a blue-eyed colorblind son. What are genotypes of the parents? So let's now talk about first uh, color blindness. Uh, so what can be genotypes of the female and male? So I would use green color to designate normal allele and red color to designate defective allele on the X chromosome. So female can be of the homozygous normal, to X chromosome would be normal. Another variant, another genotype would be one normal X chromosome and another chromosome with defective allele. So this is going to be heterozygous genotype, and the last genotype that female may have two defective X chromosomes. And males can have with a normal X chromosome and normal Y chromosome, or second variant, defective X chromosome and normal Y chromosome. So as you see, females can be of three genotypes, but males can be of two genotypes. The first two genotypes in females means normal phenotype, because this is X-linked recessive genetic disorder, and when female would have two defective X chromosomes, she would manifest this genetic disorder as a colorblind phenotype. And in males, when male has a normal allele on the X chromosome, phenotype would be normal, and if male would have defective allele on the X chromosome, phenotype would be affected because males doesn't have another X chromosome to balance this defective allele, and even one defective X chromosome in males would manifest itself as dominant genetic disorder. So that's why we call males hemizygous. And now let's return to our problem. Two brown-eyed persons with normal vision produce blue-eyed colorblind son. So the second trait is color of eyes. It can be brown and blue. So let's say that dominant allele A would produce a high quantity of the pigment, and recessive allele A would produce a small quantity of the brown pigment. And we can get three following genotypes in diploid organism. So it can be capital A, capital A, capital A, and small a, and small a, small a genotype. And the first two would produce brown pigment, and the last one would produce blue pigment. And as you remember, I said that a recessive allele will produce a reduced amount of brown pigment, and how reduced amount of brown pigment would turn to be blue pigment. And actually, we have blue eyes not due to different genes that would code for different pigments, but actually this is just a matter of amount of pigment. So those people who would have brown eyes would just have more brown pigment than those people who would have blue eyes. And this is a matter of optical physics, why we perceive blue color as blue, not because of the pigment itself, but due to physical structure of our eyes that is hidden by brown pigment. And if you would search on the internet, you would find some videos about how anyone with black or brown eyes can get blue eyes with simple technique. Laser just remove a pigment layer, and even those people whose eyes are brown, like Chinese, Japanese, or Africans, their eyes would turn blue. So, anyway, let's now return to our problem. We are told that two people who has brown eyes would have blue-eyed son. How is this possible? It is only possible if both parents would be heterozygous for this trait. So in this case we would have capital A, small a one parent, capital A, small a second parent, and both of them would have brown eyes. But in their progeny we can expect following genotypes and phenotypes. Capital A here, capital A here, capital A small a here, and small a here. So as you see, 3/4 of such a cross we expect to be progeny with brown eyes, and 1/4 we expect to be for the progeny blue-eyed. So now we know that for the first trait both parents have to be heterozygous, so genotype would be capital A small a, and we cross with another parent whose genotype going to be capital A and small a. So let's say this is going to be female side of the cross, and this is going to be male side of the cross. So what is the genotypes have to be for the second trait? And we right away can exclude this genotype here, because if a male would have even single defective X chromosome or chromosome with defective allele on it, he would be colorblind. But according to our problem, we know that both parents have normal vision. So we can put genotype of the male as normal X and Y chromosome here, the only variant possible for male. Now as for the female, if her genotype would be two defective X chromosomes, her vision also would be affected, so she would be colorblind. We have to exclude this variant. And now if male would be genotypically and phenotypically normal, and if female also would be phenotypically normal, of course such a cross also would result in 100% normal progeny. So that gives us information that the only variant possible here, female have to be heterozygous. So she have to be normal X and defective X chromosome have to be her genotype. So still she would be phenotypically normal because she has one normal dominant allele, so phenotype would be normal. But in the progeny, according to this Punnett square, they have probability that their son would be small a genotype, and of course any son from father side would get only Y chromosome, because male would define the sex of the progeny. If we are told that their son is colorblind, that tells us that from father side he got Y chromosome, and the defective X chromosome that he have to have, he only can get from the mother side. And chances are 50-50. So he can get from mother side with a defective X chromosome or normal X chromosome. But because this is going to be a male, from the father side he can inherit only Y chromosome. So mother defines here whether her son would be colorblind or would have normal color vision. Of course, this is a matter of chance. And if this couple would have a daughter may be of the following genotypes. So she may have two normal X chromosomes, so her phenotype would be normal, or she may get a normal X chromosome from the father side and defective X chromosome from her mother side, and would have the same basically genotype like her mother, and as you see, she still would be normal. Her color vision would be normal. So result of such a cross would be 50% of the male progeny who is going to be colorblind, 50% of the progeny who is going to be with normal vision, and 100% of their daughters would have normal color vision. So this is all for today. Thank you for your attention. Please subscribe for my new videos that I post almost every day. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please write your comments, questions if you have any. Share this video with your classmates, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.